Leafs Nation, we are here for another year of playoff hockey, and we're all hoping for a different result this season. Game 1 of round 1 against the Montreal Canadiens goes tomorrow night, 7:30 puck drop at Scotiabank Arena. Oh, we are ready, but I'm nervous as all heck for a few different reasons. Number 1, it's playoff hockey. If you're not nervous, you're nuts. Second of all, I'm a Leaf fan. And it's playoff hockey. That right there, you got to be nervous in a nutshell. Right away, you got to be nervous about it. But I have some keys to the game. I got 4 things that I'm looking at in this series that if the Leafs win this and dominate this specific thing, they will win this series. Also, I'll be breaking down the lines at practice today. And then I'll leave it up to you guys. Not going to be too long of a video. I don't want to make this thing too long because this video is about you guys in the comments going crazy about your takes on the series, what your expectations are, what's your playoff predictions. Who do you think is going to win this series? How many games? Who's the MVP? That's what I want to get from you guys in the comments below. All right, let's get to this. My first key to the game, or key to the series, I guess, is goaltending. Playoff Carey Price is an absolute beast. I don't care what the regular season numbers say about the guy. He is Carey Price in the playoffs, and you never want to see him. But the Leafs are going to see him. And if they can find a way to beat Carey Price, they have a very good chance of winning this series. Then on the other side of it, you got Jack Campbell, who Leaf fans we've never seen in a playoff game with the Toronto Maple Leafs. We've seen regular season Jack Campbell, which is great. He was great this season. Broke Carey Price's record for consecutive wins to start a season, which is fantastic. But now it's playoff hockey. The intensity level is going to go way up. So what are we going to see from Jack Campbell? If Jack Campbell goes out there and outplays playoff Carey Price, the Leafs are going to win this series in 5 games. Maybe even 4. But 4 is very, very tough to do. I've said it countless times in my videos, and I'll say it again. This will be the last thing I'm going to say about the goaltending. Having a great goaltender wins you championships. Wins you a Stanley Cup. Look at Marc-Andre Fleury. How did game 1 in between Minnesota go to overtime? Marc-Andre Fleury. Did they lose in overtime? Yeah, they did. But how did it get there? Marc-Andre Fleury. They won a 2-1 game yesterday. 3-1. Did the Vegas Golden Knights yesterday. Marc-Andre Fleury, big saves. Big saves. Big saves. Why did the Washington Capitals win their Stanley Cup a while back? Braden Holtby was a gigantic factor in that. Why did the St. Louis Blues? Jordan Binnington. You can go down the list of all the teams that have won the cup or been, close to winning the cup. Why have they been so good? Goaltending. And what are the Leafs going to get out of Jack Campbell tomorrow? And in this whole series against Montreal? I don't know. And that's the one thing that's in the back of my head that I am really nervous about is playoff Carey Price and Jack Campbell, who I've never seen in the playoffs. Now, Jack Campbell could go out there and be unreal, as he was in that stretch where he didn't lose a game. Which, hey, I'm totally fine with that. But we've never seen it in the playoffs. So that's really the big key to the game that I have here. But here are the other 3. I had the Leafs D-core. In years past, the Leafs defense has been a gong show. They've given up a million shots on net. They've won 6-5 games, but they never won like a 2-1 game to save their life. This year, totally different story. You bring in guys like TJ Brody, you bring in Zach Bogosian, you bring in some more veteran defensive forwards, and the defensive side of the puck seemed very good this year, or at least significantly better than last season. Can that continue in the playoffs? You do that, you get good goaltending from Campbell, he makes the good, easy saves, you will win this series. Because you know what this offense has. And speaking of offense, the depth goal scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs in years past against Columbus. Who scored that? I can't remember exactly. I could be right, I could be wrong. Against Columbus last year in the elimination game, the Leafs were down 1-0 for the majority of the game. Who scored the second goal? I think it was Texier? Who? Right? Depth goal scoring has killed the Leafs in the past. You go back to the Boston series. Did Pasternak, Marchand, and Bergeron crush you in that final series we played against Boston? No. But you saw guys like Jake DeBrusk, Charlie Coyle, Sean Corrali, Nordstrom. Those guys out here killing. You're like, what the heck? And then our depth guys can't get it done. The Leafs last year had to put that big fire the big three guys in the top unit because you had to get goals somehow. So the depth goal scoring is going to be a huge thing we're looking at this playoff run or series or whatever it ends up being. All right. Now, the last thing, and it's been the glaring thing all year long, we've all looked at and been like, that is not good. The power play, and obviously the penalty kill's been okay. Penalty kill lately has been phenomenal, which is fantastic. And you bring in a guy like Riley Nash, yeah, you heard me. He could really stabilize that even more. But we'll have to get into that in a second. And the power play, it has to be good. It absolutely has to be. You know, when you're not scoring in the power play, teams, not that they're not afraid to put you on the power play, but they're more willing to be aggressive, right? And if they take a penalty, oh, well, they can't score on it anyways right now, so what the hell's the point? But if you show that your power play is dominant and your PK is dominant, special teams go a long way. And I really believe that if the Leafs can find a way to score a couple power play goals in the first couple games, it's going to change the entire complexity of this series. Now, well, James, they haven't been able to score many power plays at all the second half of the year. I've said it countless times. The playoffs are a different beast, and for me, the playoffs are like a reset button. So, yeah, did they end the year horrendously on the power play? They absolutely did. It's a new season. They could score their first power play of the playoffs, and we'll all be like, well, okay, that's gone, right? So that's totally different, and I'm not even worrying about that. If the Leafs can get their special teams cooking, ideally it's majority of the team, right? Depth goal scoring, get the good goaltending, good defense, and special teams. So that's majority of hockey in a nutshell. But I wanted to be a little bit more specific with this team specifically, all right? Now, let's get to the lines that were at practice earlier today. These are not obviously the solidified 100% lines for tomorrow night, but I'm assuming since it's the day before, you probably want to get guys familiar, so I'm guessing this is the lineup. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and Zach Hyman on the top unit. So we get some Zach Hyman sightings there in the top unit. That's great. That's great news because he is such a huge part of this team. And John Tavares, William Nylander, and Nick Foligno. Okay, I really like that line. The way that Tavares and Nylander have been playing lately and what Foligno brings to the team, I love that. Now, this is where things get interesting. The third line, you have Riley Nash at the center. Okay. He has not played a regular season game with the Leafs at all. Just some practices. And here's a playoff game. Okay. I trust the Leafs. I trust Sheldon Keefe. And what Riley Nash is going to bring to this team, he's going to bring that defensive mindset as a center. And look, that's what you want. And he has been an integral part of just terrorizing the Leafs in the past. So if he can't beat them, why not get him? Right? He was on Columbus last year, played a huge part in that. He was in Boston for one of those series that we lost against the Bruins. So why not bring him here? Right? And he's going to make it. Look, and things can obviously change. If he doesn't have a good first game, you can always switch him out for somebody else. But as of right now, it was Nash, Kerfoot on the right side, and Mikheyev on the left side. And the question is, what are you going to get from Kerfoot and Mikheyev? Kerfoot last year in the playoffs, I thought was really good. He was all over the place, aggressive, flying around on the ice. I thought he was really good. What are you going to get this year? And Mikheyev, who we saw last year in the playoffs, but he came back from that really bad injury, plus the COVID wait. I understand why he wasn't very good. So here you go, a fully healthy season, Mikheyev. What are we going to get from him? That's a big question on that third line. And then the old fogey fourth line that I really think is an underrated fourth line and that could be a huge difference maker in really any game or any series this team plays. Jason Spezza down the middle, Simmons on the right, Jumbo Joe Thornton on the left. The older fogies, but they know how to play on both sides of the puck. So the question is, what are we going to see? And that's all going to be answered tomorrow night at 7:30. At the back end, we have Morgan Riley and TJ Brody, of course. Jake Muzzin and Justin Hull, of course. Rasmus Sandin and Zach Bogosian. Okay, I like myself some Rasmus Sandin in the playoffs because he may not be a big guy, but he ain't afraid to throw the body around. He's got that offensive upside. He's got a really high hockey IQ, in my opinion. I like that. Zach Bogosian, you know what you're going to get from him. Sound defense. He's going to throw the body around. Ain't afraid to beat the snot out of somebody if he needs to. I love it. I love that decor. I love what it looks like this season all year long. And game one, I like that. I like it a lot. Now, and I saw Martin Brinson and Travis Dermott out there in practice today. I'm like, Martin Brinson, you damn well better not be playing for the Leafs in the playoffs. Because I said it before. I said it again. Not again. No more Martin Brinson in the playoffs, please and thank you. Jack Campbell and Frederik Andersen were the goaltenders obviously in net today at practice. And the extras, Alex Galchenyuk, Pierre Engvall, Adam Brooks, and Dave Riddick. Alex Galchenyuk, yeah, he got a big run here. And he's an extra in game one. Very interesting. But I understand it. You need that little bit of different type of hockey with Riley Nash down the middle on that third line. I understand that move. But Leaf fans, it's game one, right? Let's say Riley Nash doesn't have a great first game, or even Mikheyev has an awful first game. You can obviously slide Galchenyuk right in there. Or heck, you could take Nash right out, move Kerfoot to the center, and have Galchenyuk on the wing, and boom, there you go, right? It's all a mix and match game right now. It's unfortunate for Galchenyuk. He won't be there in game one if these are the lines. But it would not surprise me if at some point we see him in the playoffs. It's the way it goes. All right? Leaf fans, I'm not going to say anymore. We're going to let the hockey do the talking, and that is tomorrow night. 7:30 puck drop at Scotiabank Arena. Game one against Montreal Canadiens. I can't wait to get this thing going. I'm nervous as all heck. I'll be sweating all game long. But I know you guys will be too, so we'll be doing it together. That sounds awful, but you know what I mean. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are pumped for round one of game one of round one, there we go, of the Stanley Cup playoffs between the Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow night, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not done so already, guys. Comment down below your thoughts on the video. If there's anything I missed and you think is going to be an X factor in this series, let me know. All right? Twitter's down below for myself. Follow, send me a DM to like great stuff. The Instagram link is down below, so follow up there if you have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Jay's Edition, later tonight as they're taking on the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of the 3-game set against the Bo Sox. Looking to take over first place in the American League East with a W tonight. Ross Stripling, Garrett Richards is the pitching matchup tonight at TD Ballpark. And as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, as we've talked about, game one of round one, there we go, between the Leafs and Habs, goes tomorrow night, Scotiabank Arena, 7:30 puck drop. Let's get this thing going, Leaf fans, all right? I'll talk to you guys post-game then, and I can't wait. I'm hoping it's W. We can talk about some good stuff, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and are pumped for game one. We'll talk to you guys then.